breaking news. The provincial budget announcement has been postponed, with government citing safety concerns. Hundreds of fish harvesters are protesting at the Confederation Building, blocking entrances and clashing with police. NTV's Bailey Howard has been on the scene since the rally began early this morning and joins us live with the latest. So, Bailey, what is happening right now?
Hi, Amanda. We're here live, like you said, at the Confederation Building. We're here just behind the East Block at the public gallery access, where harvesters and plant workers have been protesting since 6 o'clock this morning, so we're into the 6th hour. I've been here since then, and as you can see, the crowd up here just continues to grow. You know, there's been a lot of tense moments that have happened today with police here, as well as, you know, with the protests that have been happening, and now that has led to the budget day being cancelled, but that hasn't deterred the protesters from continuing here today. I have one of the harvesters here with me right now, Jason Sullivan. Jason, tell me a little bit about, you know, I guess a little recap about, you know, what's been happening since you've been here this morning and, you know, what you'd like to see come from this.
Well, I mean, we came here and I think it was made pretty clear yesterday that, you know, the crowd wasn't interested in letting anybody in the building today to proceed with the budget. And, you know, we think if, you know, the government is leaving the fishery on the back burner long enough, you know, usually with smoke and mirrors announcements, that really means nothing. And, you know, I guess the untrained eye, they wouldn't know the difference. It seems like the government's doing nothing, but they're never ever doing anything. They're looking after their big bodies there in ASP, and so, you know, today I guess, you know, people were serious, and you know, even when the RNC had a few horses trying to trample people, I mean, they weren't backing down. And you see some people facing a couple of Clydesdales is pretty impressive, but you know, hopefully the government starts to wake up, and you know, like I said earlier, I mean, there's 3 big things on the table: allowing outside buyers to come, lifting the caps on the current plants we got so they can produce what they want, and letting people invest in building plants here. Right now, I think they approved the hardest one, which was outside buyers, but for the life of me, I can't understand why they won't let people invest in rural Newfoundland and build plants and lift the caps on other plants that want to provide more work for their workers. I mean, and let them compete. But it's very strange, you know. But I mean, again, like I said, the Premier and the Minister are on the news all week talking about their experts. And like I said, you know, these are people that probably are former bureaucrats. They're living on the East End and wears their shoes inside. All they have to do is go and find the real experts, the people that wears rubber boots, the people that are on the deck of the boats. But I mean, they still carry this notion that fishermen are too stupid to know what's good for them, and it'll soon be time for them to sit down and actually listen to them. Never mind getting on VOCM or whatever they're on and saying they need to come back to the table. We're here, we're waiting. We don't even know where the table is. But I mean, they won't come. They won't meet with anyone. I mean, John has been waiting all day to hear from him. John Efford, the guy that's basically leading this whole thing. And you know, so it's not fair for them to go say we're waiting on them. We're not waiting on us. We're here. Sign off on these few things, create some competition here, let people invest in rural Newfoundland. Simple stuff, but these getting on the news and telling people lies and saying, if you know, we're doing things, they're trying nothing. It's pretty simple. Few strokes of the pen, this is a done deal, and everyone's happy, except for their few merchant bodies, I guess. But I mean, that just means they have to compete like every other business in the world, and you know, it shouldn't be just given to them. This huge fortune shouldn't be just given to them. They should have to work for it like everyone else and compete and create a good industry for everyone.
And so, you know, you folks have been out here now for more than 6 hours. I see some speakers and things coming in as well, which looks like you're, you know, just continuing on. You have some other plans for today, despite the budget being cancelled. So, you know, what can we expect to see now this afternoon?
Well, Jan is just about to update everyone here on it now, and you know, it's I think we're going to get some guidance from there. But right now, it doesn't seem like the government is about to listen to the people. So I guess we're just going to continue on doing what we're doing. But Jan will inform everyone a bit more. I mean, he's been working with the FFAW on this, and so, yeah, so I suspect this isn't going away anywhere, and we're going to have to continue to do it, unless like the government just decides to listen to the people. I mean, there's 1,000 people here today, and they're home hiding in their basements or whatever they're doing. But I mean, come out and talk to them. You want to sit to the table? Come out and sit to the table. Don't be hiding.
Thank you so much, Jason. I'm sure we'll hear more from you this evening on our Evening News Hour.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.
Perfect. Amanda, back to you. Now we'll have more updates throughout the afternoon as this continues. And as I said, I'll have more on this tonight on the NTV Evening News Hour and First Edition about what else, happens throughout the day. And I'm sure we'll have updates on, when the budget may happen or what's going to happen from here.
Thank you so very much. NTV's Bailey Howard reporting for us live from the Confederation Building. Well, today was supposed to be budget day, but as we just mentioned, the provincial budget has officially been postponed until further notice. NTV's legislative reporter Ben Cleary joins us live from the NTV newsroom with that part of the story. Ben.
Good afternoon, Amanda. That's right. Like you said, the budget was supposed to be tabled at 2 p.m. this afternoon, but that's not going to happen. It's been postponed due to safety concerns. Now, the province said in a release that fish harvesters are preventing public service employees from entering the Confederation Building complex. The conditions are unsafe for employees and visitors to enter the complex, is what the province said, and there is a threat of violence. The budget for now will be delayed until further notice. So right now, Amanda, we don't know when it's going to happen. I spoke to the president of the Federation of Labor, who said it was the right decision not to table the budget this afternoon.
It was absolutely the right call for the budget to be postponed. I think not just in terms of respecting the demonstration that's ongoing, but also in terms of the health and safety of the people that work at the Confederation Building. There's a huge number of people who go to work there every day, both in the Department of Finance but also in other departments, and we don't want any worker to be put in an unsafe situation. So I think the call maybe should have come a little bit earlier before people started arriving for work, but it was definitely the right decision to make.
And Amanda, we've just learned that the government is filing an injunction in Supreme Court to stop protesters from blocking the budget. We'll see what happens with that and have live updates at ntv.ca.
Well, thank you so very much. It's NTV's legislative reporter Ben Cleary following this story very closely. And now joining us live is NTV News anchor Michael Connors. Now, Michael, you have covered politics here for us for many, many years. Do you recall a time when something like this has happened before?
In a word, no. I mean, I've been covering provincial budgets for over 20 years now. My first lock-in was back in 2003, and never seen anything like this on budget day. I covered lots of budgets, covered lots of fisheries protests, and quite large ones. I mean, if you've seen some of the overhead video there, I mean, there's a few hundred protesters there. There have been much larger ones in the past. I can even remember them going on 20 years ago, blockading St. John's Harbour. There was a flotilla of boats actually blocking off St. John's Harbour, and I was up on Signal Hill filming one of those large container ships running the blockade. So there certainly have been massive fishery protests before, but actually to shut down the legislature on budget day, this is a new one. Never seen it happen before. I mean, there have been lots of budget protests before, but the budget has always gone ahead. So this is certainly a new one that actually a relatively small group of protesters have actually effectively been able to block access to our legislature and prevent the provincial budget from going ahead. This is absolutely new territory that we're into here. Never seen anything like it, and I've been covering it for 20 years. I've spoken to some people who covered it longer. I had a few messages with Lynn Burry, who covered the legislature long before she did. She could remember nothing like this on a budget day. I mean, she equated it, the closest thing was 92 with the cod moratorium. There were massive protests back then, but yeah, no, this is definitely new territory, having a budget postponed.
I mean, what would normally have been happening right now?
Well, normally I would be sequestered right now. So on budget day, what happens is the budget gets presented in the legislature publicly at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But before that, all day before that, all of the media, large numbers of media, including here at NTV, go into what we call a lock-up or a lock-in, where we're actually locked behind closed doors. We have to hand over our cell phones, and we are kind of given the budget documents and the budget details under embargo, meaning we can't report on any of it until the finance minister rises to her feet and delivers the budget speech in the House of Assembly. And then after that, I would have, starting at 2 o'clock, I would have been live on the air in Confederation Building to present that live as it happened and get reaction from all the different interest groups who are there. But of course, the budget it's a very large thing. I mean, the legislature itself is one thing, but the whole media apparatus that covers it is also a very massive endeavor. And all of these interest groups like labor groups and NAPE and business groups, the labor groups themselves have put out notices that they were not going to cross this protest, what they sort of regard as a picket line. So they were not going to go in there to give their reaction to the budget. And we had no ability to get all of our equipment that we needed into the lobby to cover the budget. So it certainly disrupted a whole lot of things here. Definitely, in the 20 years I've been covering budgets, once again, a first for me.
Incredible. And of course, we are following this story very closely throughout the day. I know we had a full crew from NTV here this morning ready to, as you said, yes, set up in Confederation Building. Haven't been allowed to get through, of course, as well. So we are following the story very closely. We'll have reports from NTV's Ben Cleary as well as Bailey Howard. And I know, Michael, you yourself are going to be
yes,
following this very closely for a very personal reason as well.
We will, yes.
Well,